They missed the brain tumor. Could you imagine that? She goes into the emergency room, has a scan of her head, winds up recognizing that there's a tumor there, but yet they failed to tell her about it. You want to learn what this is about? Come join me as I share with you this amazing story. Hi, I'm Gerry Oginski. I'm a New York medical malpractice and personal injury trial lawyer practicing law in the state of New York. She worked as a home health aide, and she was taking her patient to a doctor's office. They're in a van going to the doctor's office, and ironically, they get into a car accident right in front of the hospital. So what do? She's now taken from the van, goes directly into the emergency room together with her patient. And because she hit her head during the course of the accident, they now sent her for a CAT scan of her head. And the radiologist, the doctor who's reading and interpreting this particular CAT scan, recognizes that she's got this mass in her brain. And what does he do? He writes in his report, patient has a mass in the brain. Clinical correlation, clinical follow-up needed. Great. So what happens? The doctor fails to communicate that information to the emergency room doctor. And now the emergency room doctor doesn't have that information, sends the patient home the same day, and now here's where they dropped the ball. Nobody at the hospital connected the dots. Nobody at the hospital in the radiology department recognized that this patient was never given this information. So now this patient is told she's fine, go home. And over the next 9 months, what happens is that she begins to lose vision in one eye. And she's getting frustrated. She doesn't understand what's causing this. So about 9 months down the road, she winds up going to her eye doctor, and the eye doctor examines her and says, you know what, let's get you a scan, let's get an MRI and see what's going on. So now she goes for follow-up, and the doctor tells her, you've got a tumor in your brain. They ask her, have you had any type of diagnostic imaging, x-rays, CAT scans, MRIs in the last year or two? She says, yeah, 9 months earlier I was in a car accident and they took a CAT scan image of my head. They told me everything was fine. So what does the doctor do? The doctor goes, gets those images from the emergency room, from that hospital, looks at it, looks at the report, and they clearly identify the fact that she's got a tumor in her brain at that time. Now, why is that important? It's important because if she was recognized that she had a tumor 9 months earlier when the accident happened, she had good vision then. The tumor wasn't impinging on the optic nerve, it wasn't affecting it, and her vision was still perfect. By the way, this was a benign tumor, so it was a space-occupying tumor. It was not cancerous. If they had taken it out at that time, she would have had perfect vision. Unfortunately, by the time she began to realize she had vision loss, now this had encompassed and encapsulated the entire optic nerve, and she totally lost vision in that eye. The defense refused to acknowledge the fact that they did anything wrong until we were sent out to go pick a jury. At that time, they realized that they were responsible for this woman's vision loss, and as a result, they paid her 7 figures. So why do I share this great information with you? I share it with you to give you an insight and an understanding of how one emergency room dropped the ball when they clearly recognized she had a tumor, but failed to tell her about it. You know, I realize you're watching this because you likely have questions or concerns about your own particular matter. Well, if your matter happened here in New York and you do have legal questions, what I encourage you to do is pick up the phone and call me. You know, I can answer your legal questions. This is something I do every single day, and I'd love to talk to you. You can reach me at 516-487-8207 or by email at Gerry, G-E-R-R-Y, @oginski-law.com. That's it for today's quick video. I'm Gerry Oginski. Have a wonderful day.